Hey guys, it's MaHogany Jackson, the author of I'm Not the Girl I Used to Be. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and just watching this video. Today I will be sharing a little bit about my book, why I wrote the book, who is the book for, a little bit about the publishing process and everything like that. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. And if you're just a returning person who always watches our videos, make sure you subscribe, okay? So just to jump in, why did I write this book? So here's the book right here. It's called I'm Not the Girl I Used to Be, a guide to reinventing yourself. And in the book, I share my story of just how I battled with toxic relationships, drugs, alcohol, insecurity, all of that, and ultimately how I gained a relationship with God and how my life changed. So why did I write it? So after I went through the things that I experienced before being saved, God told me that he wanted to basically use my story to help others. I didn't know that it was going to be a book because I've done conferences and events, and I mainly thought, that was going to be the avenue that God was going to just do a lot of the healing and just restoring of women through my story. But when he called me to write this book, I was definitely super nervous about it because I'm like, first of all, who's really gonna read my story? It's one thing for me to like talk about my story on camera and everything, or just talk about my story with people, but who's gonna sit down and actually read it? But one thing for sure is I believe when God tells you to do something, do it, and he's going to work out the in-betweens. He's going to create the audience that is for it, and he's gonna ultimately do everything else. It's just our job to be obedient. And so I wrote the book, and it took me a while to write it. God gave me the vision and the notion to write it in 2015, and I didn't finish writing it till probably 2018, maybe 2019. And over the years, I picked it up, put it down, thought, had fears and doubts. At times I couldn't afford to have someone edit it, hire an editor. And then in other seasons, I couldn't afford to get the cover done. And so it was really a process. So many people, they think that once you start the journey of doing something that God has called you to do, it's just gonna be easy. Nah, sis, it's not. So it was definitely a process, and I got discouraged along the way because I was like, Lord, by the time I publish my book, ain't nobody gonna care about me not being the girl I used to be. But that definitely turned out to be a lie, but I'll talk about that towards the end. So I ended up writing the book. My book is about 50 some pages. So it's a really nice size read. And the publishing process was, it was pretty easy, to be honest. I think writing is the hardest part. And I'll be doing a webinar soon, so you guys can learn about how to publish a book if that's something that you're interested in. But as far as how it felt to publish my book it felt good. I had the editor edit it. She gave me really great feedback, of course, constructive criticism as well. After she did it, we went on to the next steps. And then once my book was available worldwide, I'm like, oh my gosh, And so it was a really, really good feeling. I think anytime you've been working on something and it's like it's actually completed, you just feel really, really good. So it felt great to have my book officially published and to be an actual author. For those of you who are like, okay, is this book for me? I want to be closer to God. I do want to hear about your story, but is this really for me? I would say this book is for anybody who wants to reinvent themselves. So in the title, I literally say it's called I'm Not the Girl I Used to Be, a guide to reinventing yourself. And so women of all ages have bought this book from 15 to 40. And I talked to somebody that was in their late, maybe 50s or something like that, who has got this book because ultimately, no matter your age, you can reinvent yourself. So if you are like, okay, I've made some bad decisions, I'm in a really tough situation right now, and I ultimately want to be who God called me to be. I'm tired of these relationships. I'm tired of, using drugs or alcohol or people or things to fill my void. I want to be who God called me to be. I want to be a woman that's confident and loves herself. I'm tired of being insecure. I'm tired of feeling like I'm not good enough, and I'm tired of carrying the pain of what happened in my past. If you can resonate with anything that I just shared, this book is for you. And since I released my book and it became officially available in February of this year, and since I have released this book, y'all, it has been flying off the shelf. And I cannot credit that to nobody but God, because like I said, I was afraid to share my story, but people are being blessed. People are being transformed every day. I'm getting a testimony. I just read a testimony 2 minutes ago before doing this video where somebody was like, this blessed my life. You know, this encouraged me to ditch fear. This book encouraged me to heal. This book encouraged me to be confident in myself. So y'all, this book has been doing numbers, just not, you know, I'm not one that's big on, you know, the numbers and everything, but I've made over 4 figures off this book. So this book has, one, been profitable, but not just that, people have been changed, restored, healed. So if you're wondering whether this book is for you, if you're trying to change your life, yes, it is. And I encourage you to be a part of the movement. I mean, no longer being the girl you used to be is a movement. You know, you don't have to be the same person. You can reinvent yourself today and change your life and live a life of wholeness, joy, peace, all of that. So join the movement, sis. I want you to be a part of what we're doing. I want you to also have the story of I'm not the girl I used to be, okay? So I invite you, click the links below, grab your book, grab your sweatshirt, your t-shirt, your phone case, all of that. Be a part of what we got going on, because look, we are not the girls we used to be, all right? Peace.